My dear students, welcome back. A very good morning to one and all. I hope you and everything is fine and safe around you. Please stay at home. Save yourself, family, and society. Coming to the database management systems course, from the last few classes, we have discussed about the data models. In that point of view, already we covered three different types of data models: hierarchical model, network model, entity relationship model. In today's session, we will concentrate on relational model. Okay, actually, why we are using the data models? It gives an idea that how the final system will look like after its complete implementation. That's why we are using the data models. If you have any doubts regarding the usage of data models, please see my previous session videos. Okay, now we will move to the relational model. Coming to the relational model is one type of data model in the DBMS. Actually, based on the disadvantages of entity relationship model, here we are using with the help of here we will consider the disadvantages of entity relationship model. What are the disadvantages of entity relationship model? Here, no industry standard for notations. Here, hide some information. That's why we will move to the relational model. If you have any doubts regarding the entity relationship model, please see my previous video. Now we will move to the relational model. Actually, nowadays we are using the relational models. Okay, that's why relational model is the most widely used model. So relational model is simply the table representation. Okay, coming to the hierarchical model, actually hierarchical model is a tree type of data structure. Okay, coming to the network model is like a graph representation of data structure. Entity relationship model, depending upon the entity relationship symbols. Okay, in the entity relationship model clearly mention what is the entities, what are the attributes, what are the relationships, but some disadvantages are there in entity relationship model. That's why we will move to the relational model. In this model, the data is maintained in the form of two-dimensional table. That means with the help of rows and columns. Here two-dimensional means rows and columns. Here all the information are stored in the form of rows and columns. Okay, row wise and column wise. Here the basic structure of a relational model is, that's why the basic structure of relational model is looks like the table, simply the table. Okay, relational model means simply the table. So here the tables are also called relations. Okay, here row wise, column wise data is available. Okay, so that's why here the tables are also called relations in the relational model. Now we will discuss one small example table. Here I will consider one student table. Now we will discuss about that example. Here I will consider one student table. Okay, please observe here. I will create the student table with the fields: student ID, student name, student age, student class, student section. Here I will consider 5 fields of data. Okay, that means 5 attributes. Okay, these attributes are related to the student entity. Okay, student entity lo unna attributes: student ID, student name, student age, student class, student section. What is the meaning of attribute? Here the attributes explain about the property of that particular student. Okay, what is the student ID? That is one attribute. What is the student name? What is the student age? Student class, student section. Okay, simply actually we are called, that is the heading of particular table. Suppose please observe the timetables in the notice board. Your roll list available in the notice board or registers, that is also we will follow the structure as tables. Suppose at the time of results occurred, your semester results, previous semester results, the results are also displayed in the form of tables. Okay, so here in this particular table I will consider the attributes as student id, student name, student age, student class, student section. Okay, so here I will consider 5 different students data. Okay, so here I will consider the student IDs as 001, 1101, 1102, 1103, 1104, 1105. So here each row specifies all the details of particular student. Okay, so here row means in the first row 1101. So what tells the information about the first row? Here 1101 information is available in the first row. What is that student name? Alex. What is the age of Alex? 14. In which class he is studying? 9th class, A section. So first row describes about the 1101 student information like that. Here fourth row explain about the 1104 student details like that. Okay, here first we will explain another features of relational model. Once again we will come to this structure. What are the features of relational model? Actually here we have two features. One of the feature is rows, another one is the columns. Okay, actually here in the DBMS point of view, the rows is also called as tuples or records. Okay, columns is also called as fields or attributes. Please remember, my dear students, row is also called as tuples, records. Columns is also called as fields, attributes. What information is available in the rows? Okay, suppose we will observe the row. Definitely particular student details, all the student details are available in that particular row. What is the information available in the column? Here the column explains one property of particular student table. Suppose we will consider the student IDs. In that particular column only the student ID information is available. Okay, coming to the student age column, in that particular column each student age is available. Okay, so rows, actually each row in the table is also called as tuples. A row contain all the information about any instance of the object. Okay, here each row contains information about particular student. Okay, in the above example, each row has all the information about any specific individual. Like the first row, what information available in the first row? Actually the first row has information about Alex. Once please observe the first row. So first row is regarding to the 1101 student ID. The student name is Alex. So the first row information is related to the Alex. Okay, so I hope all of you understand about the rows. Now we will move to the columns. What data is available in the columns? So here the property of particular student details is available in the columns. Attribute are the property which defines the table or relation. Okay, suppose we will consider the student class column. In that 9th class, 10th class, those data is available. Okay, are you understand my point? The value of the attribute should be from the same domain. Okay, ఆ పర్టికులర్ కాలంలో ఉండే వాల్యూస్ అన్నీ కూడా ఒకే డొమైన్కి రిలేటెడ్గా ఉంటాయి. సపోజ్ we will consider the student age column. Only student age available in the form of years. The age is 10, the age is 11, 18, 25 like that. Okay, in the above example we have different attributes of the students. So what attributes of student available in the above table? Student ID, student name, student age, student class, student section. Okay, please observe the above table. Okay, this is the table. So please observe that attributes. Here the attributes are student ID, student name, student age, student class, student section. So row is also called as the tuple. Here I am highlighting the row 1104. Okay, the fourth row is tells about the Bob information. Here I am highlighting the column student age. In this particular column explain about the student ages. Okay, so this information is tells about all the relation between all the details. That's why the table is also called as the relation. Okay, so these are the features of relational model. Okay, so now we will move to the advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages of relational model? Actually this is very simple because unknown persons, illiterators kuda టేబుల్స్ చూడగానే ఆ టేబుల్లో ఎలాంటి డేటా ఉందనేది ఈజీగా అర్థం చేసుకోగలరు. దట్స్ వై దిస్ ఈజ్ వెరీ సింపుల్ కంపేర్డ్ టు ద నెట్వర్క్ మోడల్ అండ్ hierarchical model. Actually it maintains the scalability. Okay, this model can be easily scalability as we can add as many rows and columns we want. Suppose in the first year second semester your class strength is 60. In the second year first semester some lateral entries are added. That's why we will add some rows in your row list. Okay, are you understand my point? What is the meaning of scalability? So at the time of second year second semester some members are detained in the second year first semester. That's why we will remove some members in your role list. Okay, that means the scalability. Here the scalability flexibility is very easy. We can add as many rows and columns we want. Okay, that is also one of the advantage. Coming to the structural dependence, actually the data is available in the world. The data is available in three formats: structured format, unstructured format, semi-structured format. Structured format means the data is available in the tables format. Actually the relational model data is available in the form of table format. That's why so the relational model, one of the advantage of relational model is structural. Okay, so we can make changes in the database structure without changing the way to access the data. So here we can add any number of rows, we can delete any number of rows. Okay, that is not related to any changes to the database. Okay, that's why this is also one of the advantage. When we can make changes to the database structure without affecting the capability of to DBMS to access the data, we can say that structural independence has been achieved. Okay, so here we will maintain the data in the form of tables. That's why the structural independence is also one of the advantage of relational model. Here we have some disadvantages are also there. What is the first disadvantage? Hardware overheads. Here if we maintenance of tables is not easy, so that's why we want more and more advanced hardwares. Okay, for hiding the complexities and making things easier for the user, this model requires more powerful hardware computers and data storage devices also we want. That's why the hardware overhead is one of the disadvantage of a relational model. So with the help of other tools we will rectify this hardware. That's why we are using the relational model. Here at the time of our database management system, definitely we will provide some securities. That's why here in the tables we will provide the securities, means we are considering some tools for providing the security. So hardware overheads. So in nowadays also we are using the table structure formats. That's why that means here for rectifying these problems we are using some other tools. Okay, so coming to the second, bad design. Why we are calling this is the bad design? Because very simple design, just row wise column wise. That's why this is called as bad design, as the relational model is very easy to design and use. So the users don't need to know how the data is stored in order to access it. This ease of design can lead to the development of a poor database, which would slow down if the database grows. So for that point of view we will provide some security tools. Okay, so this is very simple design. That's why we will call this is the bad design. Here we have disadvantages also, but we are using only the relational model. Why? Because we will consider these disadvantages are minor as compared to the advantages of relational model. Here we have so many advantages, simple, structural independence. So with the compared to the disadvantages of relational model, here we will consider these disadvantages as minor compared to the advantages. That's why we are using the relational model. These problems can be avoided with the help of proper implementation and organization. For rectifying the disadvantages of relational model, we will see the alternatives for that point of view. Okay, these problems can be avoided with the help of some other proper implementations and organizations. Okay, now we will discuss one small example how to create a table using SQL language. Actually SQL is one of the database management system software. DBMS is a software for making the for modifying the data, that's why, okay, for managing the database. First we will see create how to create a table using SQL. Okay, so here I am included a small syntax how to create the table. So at the time of table creation, we will use the syntax create table. Okay, that is mandatory. Okay, to create table statement, okay, at the time of creating the statement of table, at the time of initializing the table, we will use the statement create table. After that, we will consider any table name. Okay, this is the syntax, that's why I will consider here table name. Okay, suppose you want to create the student table, then please write create table student. Okay, so like that. If you want to create employee table, then you will write create table employee. Okay, so now we will discuss how to create the table. Create table, table name, open parenthesis. సో వాట్ యూ వాంట్ ద ఫీల్డ్స్, నీ పర్టికులర్ టేబుల్లో హెడ్డింగ్స్గా ఏమి ఉండాలి, యాట్రిబ్యూట్స్గా ఏమి కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుంటున్నావు. ఓకే, ఫీల్డ్స్, యాట్రిబ్యూట్స్, కాలమ్స్. ఓకే, సపోజ్ యూ ప్లీజ్ అబ్జర్వ్ యువర్ రోల్ లిస్ట్. In that register number, student name, gender is available. Okay, please consider those three fields. In the previous also we will discuss one table. In that table we have 5 fields: student ID, student name, student age, student class, student section. Okay, so that's why here we will consider those as the columns. So column 1. Okay, column 1, which data type is related that column 1? Suppose student ID. So student ID ఎలా ఉంటుంది? Y19CS1301. Okay, in that characters and numbers are mixed, that's why we will consider that as a string. Here we will read with the help of char. Okay, now we will see the example also. First please observe the syntax. ఇలా కాలమ్స్ ఎన్ని కావాలనుకుంటే కాలమ్స్, ఆ పర్టికులర్ కాలమ్ అనేది దేనికి రిలేటెడ్, ఏ డేటా టైప్కి రిలేటెడ్ కూడా మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. కామా కాలమ్ 2 ఆ పర్టికులర్ డేటా టైప్, కామా కాలమ్ 3 ఆ పర్టికులర్ డేటా టైప్. సో నువ్వు ఎన్ని ఫీల్డ్స్ అయితే మెయింటైన్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారో ఆ ఫీల్డ్ నేము స్పేస్, ఆ ఫీల్డ్ దేనికి రిలేటెడ్ డేటా టైపు దాని కామా మళ్ళీ సెకండ్ ఫీల్డ్. ఓకే, నవ్ వీ విల్ సీ ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్. నవ్ వీ విల్ క్రియేట్ ద స్టూడెంట్ టేబుల్ విత్ ద ఫీల్డ్స్. ఓకే, యాక్చువల్గా ప్రీవియస్గా మనం ఒక టేబుల్ డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదా, ఆ టేబుల్లో ఉన్న ఫీల్డ్సే కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుందాం. వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఫీల్డ్స్ అవైలబుల్ హియర్? స్టూడెంట్ ఐడి, స్టూడెంట్ నేమ్, లాగిన్, ఏజ్, GPA. Okay, so now we will create the table. So what is the syntax? Create table is mandatory. So what is the table name here? We will consider the table name as students. That's why I will write student table, create table students, open parenthesis. What is the first field here? Student ID. So that's why I will write here SID space. Student ID is related to Y19CS1301. సో క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి, నెంబర్స్ ఉన్నాయి, దట్స్ వై వీ విల్ కన్సిడర్ దట్ యాజ్ ద స్ట్రింగ్. సో హియర్ ఇన్ ద పర్టికులర్ SQL we will consider the syntax as, okay, data type as char. Okay, char, how many characters you want? The maximum characters allowed here 20 characters. Just this is the assumption. Okay, so here we will consider the maximum characters as 20. So minimum characters you want, okay, you will consider the what you want. Okay, next the second field is related to name. So name space, how many characters, how many maximum characters you want? 30. Here I will consider the 30. Login, login means like Gmail ID. Okay, so chalapati@gmail.com. So here also the characters are available, that's why I will consider the data type as char of 20, comma age. Age we will represent in the form of, we will tell in the form of 15, 16, 20 like that. So here only we will consider the numbers, that's why I will consider here integer. Okay, integer data type, comma the last field is related to GPA. Okay, what is your CGPA, what is your SGPA? SGPA is in the form of 6.1, 7.5 like that. So here we will consider the data type as real. Okay, are you understand how to create the table? Just this is the very simple syntax. Okay, suppose we will consider any online compiler, or if you want, please install MySQL software, please execute this command. Okay, now we get the output as The table is created with the fields SID, name, login, age, GPA. Okay, ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం టేబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం. Now we will insert some data into particular table. Okay, so here we will consider some details. Okay, now I will explain one detail how to insert the data into the table. Okay, now we will insert the data into a table. We can insert a single tuple. What is the meaning of tuple here? Tuple is also called as the rows. Okay, into the student table ఒక రో ఇన్సర్ట్ చేద్దాం. రో ఇన్సర్ట్ చేయడం అంటే స్టూడెంట్ ఐడి ప్లేస్లో నెంబర్ ఏదో ఒకటి, నేమ్ ప్లేస్లో స్టూడెంట్ నేమ్ ఏదో ఒకటి కన్సిడర్ చేసుకోండి. లాగిన్ ప్లేస్లో ప్లీజ్ కన్సిడర్ యువర్ మెయిల్ ఐడి, ఏజీ, జీపీఏ. ఓకే, హియర్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద సింటాక్స్ ఫర్ దట్? సో if your aim is to insert the data into the table, then please write the query as insert into. That is mandatory. That is the syntax of inserting the data into the table. Insert into, for which table? Students table. That's why I will consider the table name. Insert into particular table. Here I will insert the data into the students table. That's why I will consider the students. What are the fields available in the student table? Student ID, name, login, age, GPA. That's why within the parenthesis I will consider those 5 fields. Now our aim is to insert the values in that particular table. That's why values of. So what is the first field is related to? First field is related to student ID. We will consider the student ID as number of characters. So simply here I will consider 1. Okay. Second field is related to name. That's why I will consider name in the single quotations. Please observe the syntax. Name is considered in the single quotation. Okay, so login is also considered in the single quotations. What is the age? Fourth field is related to age. So here I will consider the age as the data type of integer. That's why please write one integer, comma, GPA in terms of real. So I will consider 7.1. Please execute this query, then you will get the output as. Okay, so we will insert one data. If you want insert another data, once again please write that syntax. Okay, now please try to write the another. Please insert some at least 5 to 6 data into this particular table with the help of this syntax. Insert into students of. What are the fields? Please consider the fields values of మీకు కావాల్సిన డేటా అని రాసుకోండి. ఓకే, హియర్ ఐ విల్ కన్సిడర్ 5 fields. దట్స్ వై I will consider 5 data. Okay, student ID, name, login, age, GPA. I hope all of you understand this, how to insert the data, how to create the table. Okay, please practice. Okay, please remember these 2 syntaxes: how to create the table, how to insert the data into the table. Okay, so this is the information about relational table. In the next session we will discuss about object oriented model. Okay, until now please take care. I hope you and everything is fine and safe around you. Thank you for watching. Thank you.